Hello. Hopefully my levels are good. Just gonna wait for a little bit of a feedback on that before we get properly going on Shenmue. Or Shenmue Memories, as the stream is called today. I'm going with a constant mic feature. So if you hear me making noises because I'm sick, I apologize. That's just where we're at. Obviously, have no idea if anyone is watching this, other than you, Mr. James Tarr. Okay, this should be about a more comparable level. Hey, I got email telling me that we went live. Awesome. Apparently, I went live. That's great. So, little preface for this. Shenmue Memories is more about what it was like to play Shenmue at the time, and why the game is important, at least in my eyes, because I'm a huge fan, as anyone who's ever spent more than 3 to 4 minutes around me knows. Which I'm sure is very irritating. But the truth is, the game was a very, very revolutionary game for what it was, for people in general, and for me personally, I think. Partly because at the time, I was about 15 when the game came out. The Dreamcast was the first console I'd bought outright with money I'd earned, and I really loved it. I was a Sega kid at heart, and even though I'd had a PlayStation instead of a Saturn, minor betrayal, the Dreamcast, the reason it's so beloved, I think, is because it encompasses what made Sega great at the time, which was the whole thing people talk about blue skies, but it's not just blue skies, it's about a sort of bright, innovative atmosphere that suited the arcades very well, and when it came home, it was interesting. It didn't always work. I mean, like, you look at what the PlayStation did and what the Saturn did, and then the PlayStation 2 and Dreamcast, and the Dreamcast was home to a lot of very quick arcade-style games, things that were very fast. Things like Crazy Taxi, Sega Bass Fishing is arcade and all, and there was that sort of Sega were never quite as good as Nintendo or Sony or Microsoft even at getting game studios who can do a very, very long, involved title. But what they did, they would do with flashes of brilliance. And Shenmue is kind of one of their only ones which I would say really does feel long and involved. And it's partly that because of pace, but we'll see that as we go. I was super into martial arts films when I was about 15. Me and my friend, and still friends, Richard, we would go to any that came out and we'd rent them, and it didn't matter if they were garbage, which, let's face it, a lot of them were at the time. I mean, Twin Dragons is not Jackie Chan's best work. But we enjoyed them, and then this game hit, and it was kind of like playing every part of a martial arts film, but with all the stuff in between it as well. And I think that's what really sort of hit on it. It was a world that hadn't been really realised at the time. And on top of that, when this came out, the Dreamcast was being advertised incredibly badly in the UK. Just awful. Like, they were trying to emphasise the fact it could do things like email. But no one cared about that, and the email interface was toss anyway. Especially in SD resolution on a television. It was really bad, and Sega Europe didn't know what the heck they were doing. And there were 2 games they really dropped the ball on, and this was one of them, and the other was Soul Calibur. Because nothing you could buy at the time looked like either this or Soul Calibur when it came out. There weren't even PC titles that looked quite this good. So it was quite a quite a huge fumble to advertise it using emails. They actually did have an advert for Soul Calibur, which didn't show the game, but showed someone writing an email saying, "I just beat someone in Soul Calibur." Bear in mind, that game looked better than anything, and better than the arcade version of that game. That was a stupid choice. But that's the climate in which Shenmue came out, and came into my life. So I'm gonna hit a new game, we'll go through the fairly lengthy introduction, and I will be quiet for that.
親父、来るな、リオ。もう一度尋ねる。鏡はどこだ？答える気はない。親父、この野郎！返答は？なんぞ聞かれても同じだ。待て！鏡は桜の木の下に埋めてある。超尊名を覚えているな。超。もうそんでお前が殺した男の名だ。まさかお前は。来い、最後は武術家らしく死なせてやる。親父。 手様ありました。許せ、お前一人残すことを。何言うんだ親父。親父、友を愛すべき友を持て。親父、親父、親父。
旦那様への手紙。
And that's the intro. So we've had a rough couple of days, and now we have. It's interesting for a game with such a dramatic kind of introduction to then have your very first interaction with it be, here's a notebook with some phone numbers. Well, what's interesting is this notebook is kind of your quest log about what's happening. It's obviously been redone for this one because it didn't look quite like this. It was I actually think it was more readable in the original version. Murdered Dad, War Dragon Robe, Rare Fight Style, tattoo on his arm. So these are notes. They'll help you keep track of what's happening in the game. And these numbers are all numbers you can actually call in the game. Because the first thing you notice, well, the very first thing you notice about Shenmue is its slightly awkward control system. The Dreamcast only had one analog stick, and everything is kind of camera relative, but within tiny spaces. So you have a button you can hold. If you hold B, you can spin on the spot to try and improve some of the maneuvering of Ryo. There's an automatic walk button on the right trigger, and the left trigger goes into sort of a first-person focus mode, which is very, very important. So in Shenmue, one of the first things that anyone seems to ever do, especially at the time, is to go... You go in and you have a look around. And you can look and interact with an enormous number of things. All these drawers. Oh, and look, a tape. Shenmue. And unfortunately it does tend to go back out like that, which is not helpful, but... Do I want to turn the light on? Yeah, I want to turn the light on. Did it have any tangible effect on the gameplay? No, it did not. And very little of this actually does. Like, were this to be done through a lot of modern gameplay ideas, in terms of how long it takes to do anything versus its use in the game, this all seems rather unimportant. You can open and look in pretty much every drawer in this house. Look, some socks. And a neat use of hardware at the time, using flat textures to fill out drawers with what appear to be photographs for some of them. Are you feeling the excitement? And the thing is, that's one of the most bizarre things about it. It feels like this is all kind of useless and silly. But at the time, nothing did this. Nothing had ever done this. I mean, it can be difficult to get it to do some of the things you want it to do, but... Like, those tapes. We need to open up this drawer. His Master System notepad. And his Sega tape player. Because now, if we want, we can play those cassette tapes. Whenever we like. Apologies to the motion sick, that wasn't intentional. There it is. Keep our friends, the ones we love, close to us. That would be them. At this point, all you know is that your dad has been murdered, and yeah, that's really frustrating, so...
Ryo-san, まだ起きては。
平気だよ。稲さんこそ大丈夫なのか？
はい。何かしていないとかえって気がめいって。
そうか。でも無理はダメだよ。
はい。そうそう。これを今日の分です。明日からは下駄箱の上に置いておきますので。
そういえば福さんは？
福原さんなら道場にいると思いますが。
そうか、ありがとう。
Ine-san. Now, first introduction. Now you can go over this entire house. Whole place. This here is Fuxan's room. Fuxan, as you can see, is a big fan of Virtua Fighter, which hasn't come out yet. Also, because Fuxan's annoying in the English dub, let's turn out his light. If we look around here, we can get this. I do love the way he opens his hand to grab things. Occasionally throughout the game you can find these moves. This is a little different to the Dreamcast version, so it's going to take me a second to get to grips with it. Shadow Reaper, that was it. We can learn moves. Because the game alternates between adventuring, quick time events, whereas this was one of the big progenitors of that and an actual Virtua Fighter based fighting system. So we can look at our wonderful Sega watch and turn on its backlight. Woo, woo. This game is ridiculous. Oh, so ridiculous. But I love it to death. Yeah. The great thing is, that cassette player has batteries. You have to get more batteries to keep it running. For more fun with anachronisms in Shenmue, let's go in the living room. Turn around. Look at this wonderfully accurate TV. But underneath this, in the middle of the 80s, is a Sega Saturn. Just a bit of fun there. Wow, a Mandarin. None of this does anything. And it's almost... It's 10:35 in-game, so Ryo's entire day has been wandering around the house doing this. Which does actually have some purpose. It's a very quiet way to introduce you to the concepts of the game, that walking around and looking at stuff is going to be a large portion of what you do.
Oyaji, 奴らは俺が。
When I played this, I didn't know about family altars. I actually learned about a Buddhist family element solely from playing this game. Which is cool. This isn't... I am picking stuff up. This isn't like a point-and-click adventure. I'm not grabbing everything because it will definitely have use. Often it will not.
どういう意味だ?
Heaven, Dragon, Earth, Comrade. The ability to look at everything will actually come up throughout the game. But for the first day I played this game, all I did was this. The entire in-game day was just walking around. Looking in the house. Pulling light switches. Because I was marveling at the technology that we suddenly seemed to have access to. No, we've heard that, thanks, Dad. It was great. Very appreciated. Now, to the viewer, this must look really weird that I'm just going around taking paintings off walls. But this is a pretty accurate simulation of playing Shenmue for the first time. Just wandering a house, picking stuff up. And, just for my Boko buddies, here's the toilet. a Japanese squat-style toilet. One of the only rooms in the game where he automatically shuts the door. There we go. Right. Oop. Wrong button. Let's see. Can we switch the audio to the English language in the middle of game? Yes, we can. Because this is how I remember the game. It came out without Japanese audio because the Dreamcast GD-ROMs were never going to be able to hold 2 audio tracks, and you can already hear how compressed it is. Mightily compressed. Our date, our times, our many functional light switches. But just to show you something that I found extremely impressive when I first played this game, was doing this walk around the house. The detail in this location. I'm just looking at the kitchen. And I went, oh, well, I guess I'll just look at everything.
Ryo, while you're still sleeping in bed, farmers are working hard in the fields, carefully picking carrots one by one. So how can you waste them like that?
Okay, I'll eat them.
Good. That's my boy.
It's a little clumsy by modern standards of how gaming presents a story. But at the same time, the idea of you walking through a location and just finding something, a memory to come because you looked at it, is really impressive. And to this day, I still like the fact that it's a non-essential interaction with the game where it builds the character and the world. You learn a little bit more about Ryo and his father because you looked at a table and he remembered something. And these graphics don't look that impressive today. I mean, I still find them very impressive, but... And here's the fish. It's very hard to get him to keep looking without that happening, but... Fish in the koi pond. This was just mind-blowing when it came out. The sheer level of detail and world building was ridiculous. So I'm going to get through this next story cutscene.
Ryo-san, is everything okay? Don't worry, I'm fine. I want to ask you about that man. Oh, that man. The man called Landi. What did he talk with my father about? Landi demanded the mirror, and then they threw me out of the dojo. The black suits, catch the names? I don't know. They came out of nowhere. I see. Thanks, Fuku-san. If you remember anything at all, be sure to tell me. Ryo-san, why? What you gonna do? Ryo-san, where are you going? You're not going after them. Please don't. Look what they did to Hazuki-sensei. They killed my father, right in front of me. I will have my revenge. I need to do this for my father.
And that English dub is kind of why I always think of Fuku-san as a bit whiny. And Ryo is a little dead, emotionally. But it sort of makes sense, given the situation. since we've only got a little bit of time playing, let's actually get out into the world and have a look at why this game is so important. This is Yamanoze. I come off like a bit of a pretentious, shall we say, arse when I play this game, because I kind of fell in love with the way the world was built. Just things like the realism in the detail of it all. Like it's like someone who, you know, I'm kind of like someone who went on holiday to a place and then came back and is like, oh my god, it's the best place ever, just look at all the architecture on it. But it really kind of felt oddly like that.
Noriko,
What's up?
about that day.
That day? The day of the incident. I heard about it from Nozomi. It must be hard for you.
No, I'm fine.
Great
Did you
voice
see any
performance.
men wearing black suits that day?
No, I didn't. What about them?
It's nothing, really.
It must be hard for you. I'm sincere. That's one of them people we're supposed to keep close.
Yo, hey bro. I want to ask you something.
Yeah? What is it?
That day, did you see any men wearing black suits?
That day? No, I didn't see them.
I see. Any idea of who may have seen them?
How about Mishima-san or Kondo-san? Those women just might know something. You know, they're always near the payphone in Sakuragaoka. Standing there chatting and gossiping all day.
Yeah,
Maybe they know and are chatting about it now.
I'll ask them. Thanks.
Yeah, the voice performance really was bad in this game. But yeah, you're right. I agree, Mr. James Tarr. The detail is intense and just kind of unprecedented. Like a little thing that is something I learned about Japan because of this and found out later is that every house tends to have a nameplate. And every house in this game has a readable nameplate. That's not detail that you would put into most games nowadays, partly because the sheer weight of asset creation is so huge now. But people deem a lot of stuff, if it's not essential, not to bother. See, the bottom right of the corner, this is just an interface. The little triangle button means you can talk.
Hey,
Hi, mister! You want to wrestle?
some other time, okay?
I forgot about you. For all this game, all the Western media's love of the sailors meme, which, like, it was just funny from his voice performance more than anything. Well, there's the context-sensitive buttons are at the bottom right. Mostly A and B are context-sensitive.
Hey, Joe!
Hi, Megumi. You got a kitten in there?
You promise not to tell my mommy?
Sure.
Okay, then I'll show you.
Is this your kitten?
But this kitty, see? She's all alone.
All alone?
Yep. See, the other day, when it rained, a car ran over her mommy. My big sister saw it. She said it was a big black car.
A black car?
Yeah, and she said it was really scary. And then me and Sis, we buried the mommy cat. And so now I can be the kitty's mommy. But Mommy says we can't keep the kitten at home.
So you going to keep her here?
Yeah, everybody's helping out too. Like Kota, Yasuo, and Kaio.
I see.
Kitty don't look so good. Think she's hungry?
Wait a second.
Okay.
Do this, so it's easier to eat.
Wow, she's eating.
She's so tiny, but already an orphan.
It's so sad. Yamagi-san almost got ran over too.
Yamagashi-san?
Yeah, the car was going so fast, he got shocked and fell. And hurt his backside, so now he stays home all day. When I go to the candy shop, I always stop by to visit him.
Yeah, it's close by there. Megumi, you need to be careful around cars too.
Yes.
Well, I've got to go now.
But wait, we gotta think of a name for the kitty.
Oh, well, when I think of a good one, I'll let you know.
You promise? Bye-bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
I see no parallels between me and that cat. Let's continue on. But yeah, the Western obsession with the sailor's gag is kind of funny considering just how many weird voice lines there are in the English language recording of this game. Because they're constant. Like, it is a strange performance game. Before we go and talk to these others, let's just have a look around. Because one thing that happens with this game, that is something I never really experienced with any other game, or really, not never, but it was rare, was finding myself feeling like I knew the layout of a location. I could go throughout it. It's very small. It's not your expansive open worlds, and it's not even anything as big as the second game, which has a huge area compared to this. Although compared to something like, you know, Fallout or anything like that, it's really rather tiny. But what it does with that space is pack it full of things. The post boxes, the houses, details like the bike and the bins, and the ability to just go, hey, I'm at a door.
Perhaps they're out?
I can knock on any door in this damn game. And I did a lot the first time I played it. Just the sheer novelty of everything was enough to make me interact with it more.
Oh, hello, Ryo.
Kondo-san, the day of the incident, did you see any men in black suits?
The day of the incident? You mean the day it thundered, right? I didn't see them.
I see. Did anything unusual happen around here that day?
Not that I'm aware of. But you know, Sumiya-san knows about everything that goes on around here. It'd be good if you tried asking Sumiya-san.
I see.
Thanks for that.
Mishima-san,
Oh, hello, Ryo.
that day of the incident, did you see some men dressed in black suits?
Black suits? No, I didn't see them.
Well, did you happen to notice anything unusual?
Oh, nothing worth mentioning.
I'm looking for anything at all, Is there
Thanks,
anything
Kondo,
you
for
remember?
continuing your conversation.
I'm sorry, Ryo. The weather was awful, so I stayed inside all day. Did you ask Sumiya-san? She knows about everything that occurs in this neighborhood.
Is that so?
If you can hear some random background noises, that's our cats. They're going a bit mad. They get very hyper sometimes.
Excuse me,
Yes.
what's this nameplate say?
It says Tajima.
Does it? I'm trying to find the Yamamoto's house, but see my eyesight is bad, so...
Don't worry. I'll look for it. Wait for me in that park up ahead.
You're so kind. Thank you so much.
That noise means we got a new note here. And now we are being gently introduced to the concept of the nameplates and the fact we may need to use them at some point. Sucker. It's we. Maybe it says here. So it does. It says
Yamamoto. That's it. Guess I'll go get that lady. Ma'am, I found it.
Did you? Thank you so very much.
This is it.
Thank you for taking the time to help me, young man.
I have to go now.
There are so few helpful young people these days.
don't worry, I literally spent half my day looking at oranges and things. It's fine.
Hi.
Hi there.
Going out to play?
Yeah.
Is that right? Don't stay out too late.
Okay. Bye.
And I think it's time to indulge in one of the more infamous elements of Shenmue and the revenge story. Gashapon!
Toy capsules. 100 yen each, huh? Maybe just one. This is cool.
We got a Tails! Ironic, one of our cats is called Marcy Tails because she has this colouring.
Maybe I should get another.
Yeah. You bet.
Hey, what's this?
Yeah, even a Sega character can't remember Bok.
I should try again.
No. Interestingly,
Nah,
when the top
not
left
today.
menu appears, you don't select it then hit a button. Just pressing left or right is what does it.
No one's home?
As you can see, the light is changing as the day goes on.
No, Yuki.
Yo!
Got a sec?
Sure. Hey, is everything okay?
Yeah, but hey, on that day, did you see any men wearing black suits?
Black suits? No, I sure didn't.
I see. Any idea who might know about those men in black suits?
Maybe Sakuragaoka Gossip Gaggle might know something. You know how they're always yakking over near the payphone. Try asking them.
Good idea.
Already did, man. Already did.
I shouldn't bother them.
Oh, there he is. This is our old man with the hurt ass.
Yamagishi-san,
Oh, it's you now.
how is your back?
Yes, it's much better. But how did you know?
I heard from someone in the neighborhood that you almost got ran over by a car.
Well, it must have been Megumi or Sumiya-san who told you. That driver was insane.
Could you tell me about what happened with that car?
Sure. This black car came flying around the corner over by Sakuragaoka Park and went towards Dubuita.
A black car. Did you see the license plate number?
Maybe if there hadn't been any snow. And to make matters worse, I fell over. So I never had the chance.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear you're okay.
Information. It went towards Dubuita. Maybe I should go there. Maybe we should. And so far you've been introduced to the vast majority of what this game entails, which is just slow. That's good, don't run over the kitty. Slow and detailed. Here, at the Abe store. It's the candy store that Megumi was talking about.
Excuse me.
What is it, baby boy-do?
Did you see a black car the day of that incident?
I didn't see anything. Because with all the snow, my shop was packed with children.
I see. Did anything unusual happen that day?
You again. With me.
I was still there the whole time.
Same old routine.
I see.
Use your head, baby boy-do.
Yes.
I didn't go anywhere. Here's some of the things we can buy. Let's get some squid legs.
So, are you gonna buy this, little Ryo?
I'll take this one.
Excuse me. I'm mostly buying that for the cat. You do get to name, well, sort of. I thought you would get to name the cat. Like, I genuinely thought that naming the cat was a thing that I would have some kind of influence over. When I first played it, Megumi asks me what I want to name the cat, and so I said Sasuke, and she went, no! And named the cat herself. And I thought it was because I hadn't paid enough attention to the cat prior to doing that. But no, it wasn't that at all. I'm pretty sure that there's only enough room for one name in the recorded audio, and so she just names it because that's what she's gonna do. This is our main way into Dubuita. There's two ways down. But since this is reminiscent of how I played the game the first time. We'll just go the way I went. This is Dobuita, the largest section of the game. Technically, the docks is larger, but it's much more boring. This is where the detail in the game is sort of absurd. You notice all the people walking around. Everybody has a schedule that they stick to, day in, day out. And you can technically follow them from location to location and be correct. I once decided just to see how far it would go. And so I waited till someone left their job, followed them home, then knocked on the door, and they answered it. 90% of the time they won't do anything, but it did answer. The time limit on finishing the game is incredibly lenient. It takes an enormous amount to fail the game. There is a particular point later on in the game where you can hit an insta-fail and you have to come back the next day. And it's a really annoying moment, but even then, you will usually get through it. Like, it's quite hard to fully fail it. But I can't remember the exact date, because it's an in-game date that you reach where it's just too late. But it's very hard to get to, and I had to specifically go to that day and fail it hundreds of times in a row just to get it to work.
Nozomi.
Ryo, have things settled down for you any?
Yeah.
If there's anything I can do, be sure to let me know.
Yeah. Did you happen to see a black car that day?
A black car?
Yeah, it wasn't the kind of car usually seen around here.
You know, a car like that splashed mud on me when it sped past.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you see who was in the car?
No, I didn't. It was too fast. But I heard a rumor that Tom had an argument with the people in the car.
Do you mean Tom at the hot dog truck?
Yeah. Why are you asking about that car?
No reason. See you later.
Ryo.
Hmm?
Cheer up, will ya?
Yeah. See you.
That's a nice thing to say after my dad's died. You know. And having had that happen to me recently, it's a pretty miserable little way to be, Nozomi. Thanks. Didn't realize. This is not the hot dog truck, but everybody must see Funny Bear Burger! What a great name. Let's take you on a little tour of Dobuita. Why not? So down this side street is where we get to the bars and a couple of restaurants. If it's open, you can go in. Or you can try. Let's see. Closed right now. Opens at 7. Closed 4 AM. And it will stick strictly to those times. The scheduling in the game is precise. It's got Bar Yokosuka.
Excuse me?
If you want to talk, come to the bar.
Okay.
Bye for now.
Goodbye.
I'm at the bar, but whatever. Now, which one is this? Mampuku Gen Ramen. Then we've got a slight incident here. The cat's just knocked over a huge thing of juice all over an electric battery pack. So I'm going to mute the microphone, and I'll be back in a minute. the cats are now in cat jail, which is the bathroom, which is where their litter box is. So they're fine. Twice in 2 days. Twice in 2 days. Freaking cat. Anyway, our tour was interrupted. So let's continue. Thanks, Kiki. Thanks, Marcy. That's what I needed. Karaoke Nana. Then. This place we can never get in. Bartoon. Some of these never open. One of the best places in the game. Bob's Pizzeria. Now, anyone want to go in Bob's? Yeah, you do. Everyone wants to go in Bob's. Because this is sensitive writing, and not at all a slam at an opposing company. With a great theme song, let's put it that way. Just listen to this. A little too close on Bob there.
Mario. Welcome. Oh, it's Yurio. Fiore Pizza. Fire, huh? The taste of amore. I make a real fast, huh?
Thanks, but not today.
That's too bad, huh?
See you later.
Ciao.
That's a thing. Let's leave Mario in there. You have no reason to ever go in that place. Like, not one. Snack Linda. The Slot House, which we can go in and gamble in if we wish. We've got the motorbike repair shop. Down here is Bar Angel.
Get out of my way.
What? Go home. Oh, hey, you.
There's a Heartbeats, not Bar Angel. I forget. Normally that wouldn't be the first QTE we find in the game, but I've gone slightly off the normal path of the game. Normally you wouldn't... I mean, most people don't end up down in Dobuita on the first day, but I'm aware of our slightly short time frame, since each in-game day is roughly an hour, depending on when you quit it. That's a Chinese restaurant here. Oops. We've ended up behind the bike. Not intentional. The wonderful theme tune you can hear on the left is Tomato. This. That's the little side streets of Dobuita. We go down here. You can see a lot of closed up shops. It's a town in need of some revitalization for sure. And in what is worse than Bob's Pizza, this is Tom at the hot dog truck. Be prepared.
Tom,
Hey, Rio.
tell me about those men in the black car.
What?
Nozomi told me you had words with the guys driving the black car.
No, I don't remember.
They might have been the ones who murdered my father.
Your father?
Please try to think.
Right, man. I'll try.
Those guys in the black car, what were they like?
I saw a guy wearing this weird coat.
What kind of coat?
It was a deep green. Maybe velvet or silk. Like something Chinese.
That's Landi. What happened?
They almost hit one of my customers, so I gave them a piece of my mind. But that man, he gave me this glare.
I ain't never seen such a cold stare, man.
Do you remember anything else?
Nope. Try asking Chinese people about Chinese.
Do you know any Chinese?
Sorry, man. But see that travel agency over there? They get some Chinese customers. I'll ask around for you too, man. Come by later.
Sure.
Thanks, Tom.
Honey-san,
Hi, Yo.
do you know anyone who knows about the Chinese people in this area?
About Chinese people? Sorry, I can't think of anyone.
I see.
Lots of subtle fun in the writing and voice performance. If we go down here, something that looks fun for every Yakuza player is Amusement Game U, which has a variant in Kamachirocho. It has amusement over the top, but Game U is part of it. We have some more Gachapon machines here, which is the Sega Variety Pack and Virtua Fighter Kids. I leave it up to anyone watching as to what our next Gachapon purchase will be it Virtua Fighter Kids, or Sega Variety Pack. This here is the freeway. This is the whole of Dobuita. It's not a huge location, but it's extremely detailed. It's extremely strong in a sense of place. Very few games have ever given me a sense of a location being a real location in the same way this does. It's kind of like if Bethesda decided rather than doing an entire world for Skyrim, they just did one city and put all the resources into that. That's kind of how this works. And concentrate the resources and end up with a place that feels real. Partly because this is based on a real location. A lot of games don't have that going for them, but this does. Dobuita is real. And the game on the Dreamcast went so far as to include what was called the Magic Weather System. The Magic Weather System was the ability to use the inbuilt modem to dial up to a server and get the correct weather data for that day and date in the location, and the weather in-game throughout the day would follow the exact weather it had been. It's something I've never seen anyone else bother to try. Without it, it just kind of has a set pattern of weather that it does, but it's a commitment to trying to create a location that I've never seen elsewhere. And I also love just walking around the town at night and enjoying the lights and the texture detail and just generally the atmosphere. At this point, we're going to head home. Because whilst I do know where to go to learn about Chinese people in Dobuita and see if they can help me, we'll log a save, go to sleep. Unfortunately, we cannot wear sunglasses at night, so we can keep track of visions in our mind. What we can do is go have a look at the kitty. Oh.
Doesn't that feel good?
Put the little kitty. Look at that, sweetie. Look at that kitty. That's a good cat.
Are you cold? Hey, see you soon.
Where got in my items?
Here, eat it. It's tasty.
I'm gonna give the cat some fish.
You can eat it all. I'll bring more again.
This speaks to a lot of what Sega was doing. I mean, this game started life on the Saturn, and Shenmue 2 came with prototype footage of the Saturn version, which was beyond ambitious for hardware that was never going to achieve what they were after. But they tried. But it's Nights into Dreams also features kind of superfluous element to the game, because it's a very simple game in terms of play. It has a very basic routine as to how you play levels, but it has a system called A-Life, where how you interact with the various creatures who live in the world of Nights, either by bumping into them through this arcade gameplay or, you know, helping them out a little more, even though it's not something you actually actively do. Oh. I forgot, when you sleep, you train. Forgot about that. The A-Life system changes how the levels look and whether you get the happier or more angry music throughout the game, and it keeps complete track of it, despite the fact it has a most minor of influences on the game as a whole. And so the pet cat is kind of a similar thing. There's no real reason behind the pet cat. It's sort of a parallel to Ryo's own situation, and you look after it and help it out, and that's kind of all it is. But another thing I like, little sound detail when you get into the fridge. You hear the fridge humming.
Ah, milk. This could be food for that kitten. I'll take it to the kitten.
I'll take it to the kitten. Thanks, Ine-san. Just walk right through me. Don't worry about me.
Dried fish. This could be food for that kitten. I should go to the shrine.
Yeah, Sega have a kind of thing for superfluous yet interesting elements to the games.
Ine-san,
Yes,
do you know anyone from China?
someone Chinese? Why do you want to know?
Oh, it's nothing really. I just have some questions.
Well, how about that couple that run the Chinese restaurant?
The Aji-Ichi?
Thanks, Ine-san. It's spot on. She's right, that's where we need to go. I knew this, but it's more natural if you discover it as you play, as is the game in general. Oh, let's go for some real weird detail. If we flip back to the start of this, see we had all of these things. And the people's phone numbers and everything. I'm curious as to what the weather will be like today.
A weather report from Kanagawa Meteorological Observatory, Kanagawa Prefecture, Eastern Region. Tomorrow, rain later. Clear skies predicted.
Thanks. We can try any of these numbers. They will work. Whether someone's there or not is a different thing. I had to write these down.
I have to be sure not to waste this.
I have to be sure not to waste this. Instant gashapon. Now this is something you can do as well. This is the fast travel system. If you want to get somewhere without wasting any of your day, you can just hit a button. But we're not going to do that. I actually didn't use it ever when I first played this, because I was so into the fiction that I felt it was cheating if I used a fast travel system. Or at least not cheating, but it felt like I wasn't being Ryo Hazuki. Hello, other cat. Can we pet you? No, you're an unpettable cat. You're very cute. I had the time as a teenager as well to be into a game in that fashion. You don't always have that time as an adult to sort of go, hey, I'm going to play a game where I do walk from place to place and get very little done. Now this would normally be the introduction to QTEs.
Get ready, yes, sir. Okay, Kota. Oops. Ah, yo, watch out. I'm sorry. Are you okay?
Yeah, but be careful when playing in the road.
Okay. Wait up, Yasuo. Wait for me.
That's normally the introduction. If you fail that, which I did reload and try once just to see, the ball smacks the little girl in the face. It bounces off you and smacks her in the face. Not great.
Here's your milk. Drink up. You don't have to gulp it down.
The interesting thing with QTEs is that unless you fail lots of them in a row, they don't stop the game. It's not like that horrible Spider-Man 3 set or anything like that where you fail it, oh, now you got to redo it. Unless you fail quite a few or a couple of very vital ones, the game keeps running. It just changes what happened. And that's sort of a general theme to this whole game.
Tatsuya,
Ryo!
do you know any Chinese people?
I know one! Son Goku. You can get a Son Goku eraser out of this capsule toy machine.
I see.
That kid's voice is amazing.
I love these. I should buy one.
Jeffrey.
This is cool.
Is that Jeffrey or is that Wolf? Wolf, not Jeffrey. Jeffrey's the other guy.
Maybe I should get another.
No, that's enough for now.
Changed my mind.
Excuse me, kids. We're going to take the second route to Dobuita this time. On my little fictional tour. This is the way we came back from the arcade end. Want a little more detail? Here's a backyard! And a bin! For some reason. The end. If there's anything I'd like to get across to people with this game, it's just, I suppose, trying to explain why I'm so into it. It really is entirely down to the sense of the world, the sense of a place that exists and I could walk around and understand myself. Even if it's a bit strange, like this child, who makes odd non sequiturs.
Hiya, Yuka.
Hi, Ryo. You know my daddy? His job is baking bread. My daddy's bread tastes really good. But you know, I like hamburgers more.
Is that so?
See, I don't think hamburgers and bread are really comparable, especially considering that hamburgers use a bread element. But, you know, whatever floats your boat, kid. Well, let's see.
It looks like I can practice here. I should work on my moves.
Ah, we can see some of this.
Okay, let's go.
Not my favourite of his lines. And this is the fighting system, which is Virtua Fighter based. Three main buttons. You punch, you kick, grab, and dodge in this rather than a guard. And it's a very similar input system. Elbow assault is always my go-to move, I will say. That knocks people down like crazy. Big wheel. And there's some we've got. Some of these things you need to unlock with time. Shadow Reaper is also very good, I will say. These are your running moves. Because unlike Virtua Fighter, you can be fighting multiple people at once. And you do get better and more powerful with these moves the more you do them in this training system. When you practice here, you increase the XP of them, so they work a bit better when they actually come into play. But that's enough. It's not immensely effective as a fighting system. When you actually play it, it's very much a sort of first draft of a fighting system. And having played Yakuza 0 recently, I can say that a lot of what they tried here was refined and built into the Yakuza games. The first game doesn't quite... but by the time you're at, like, 0 and everything, that refinement has become very clear. And this was the first of Sega's now standard games you can play inside your games. In here, it's Hang On and Space Harrier, both of which are available in the Yakuza series as well. But then you've also got a darts game called Darts 7, and you've got QTE Title and Excite QTE 2. Both things kind of designed around the idea of trying to teach you about the game.
QTE Title. One game, 100 yen.
Show me what you got.
And there's not really much gameplay to this.
Yes, I'll try it.
It's a pretty... It's as simple as it seems. But the music's fun. Then goes up, press the button. Which, in reality, there are games like this. The Fist of the North Star game. I pressed the wrong button there.
Second try.
We have multiple lives. I'm just gonna fail now because we've hit the high score, and
Final try. Ready, go.
Okay, let's just... There we go. Thank you.
I'm waiting for a real challenge.
Interestingly, if you get the high score in darts...
What is it, kid?
I wasn't trying to talk to you.
What?
Who's the best person around here to ask about people from China?
China. Let's see. How about that Chinese restaurant? The one next to the drugstore. Isn't the owner Chinese?
Ichi, right? Know anybody else?
Anyone else? No. Can't think of anyone else.
I see.
A little bit of fun Sega trivia. That's the game Flicky! All the posters are for real games. The jukebox also works. But we're not hanging around there too much. But it was a heck of a moment. When the game was first out, that was amazing. Everybody down here. This is the...
Excuse me.
Hi. What
He's the guy who bakes the best bread.
Gomina-san, I need to find some people from China around here. Who is the best person to ask?
Ah, well, you know that restaurant that does fabulous roasted pork?
You mean Ichi?
And a
Yes,
bicha sweet
that's
pork.
the one. Why don't you ask the owner?
Good idea. Well, see you.
Pretty much everyone in the game can talk to you about any point. You sort of hit flags, then whenever you talk to someone, Rio will ask about relevant information. And you just very slowly progress through the game, grabbing information, having fights, talking to people. Oh. Ooh. Aha.
Hey, wait a minute.
I'm eating a plant here.
Hey, Hazuki, you think you can bump into me and not even apologize?
You got something in your teeth.
Apologize to Enoki-san. Well, maybe I'll just beat an apology out of you.
I don't have time for this. Get lost.
That's it, your history.
Yeah!
I'll fail this. See, I get hit. But keeps going.
That's it. Pretty tough.
A little lightweight kick to the head whilst he's on the floor.
I don't have time to play your little games.
Yes, I'm sorry.
You don't mess with me again. Got it?
All right.
Right outside Tomato.
Are you okay? Can you get up?
And Sully, the good name of Tomato, guys. So that's where we're going next. This music is so Sega-y, it's almost a crime. It's so bright and happy. Now here's, we can get more stuff. We got batteries, candles, diapers we can't buy, but a flashlight. Let's buy Go-Go. I fancy Go-Go.
Yo, may I help you?
This.
Draw a ticket, please.
Now we get to play in the raffle. What did we get?
No prize.
Oh, no prize.
Especially since you bought merchandise.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But yeah, you can win these things here. Cassettes and a boombox. And the second tier prize, which is really good, is Saturn versions of Hang On and Space Harrier, so you don't have to pay to play them in the arcade anymore. You can just play them on the television at home. Now you might be wondering why I haven't gone anywhere in the game, because this is just how you play Shenmue. If you're me. You walk around, you have a look at stuff, you generally enjoy the atmosphere. You watch this guy who's always trying to golf here. Oh. Hey folks, going for lunch? That's where I'm headed. I always loved the atmosphere. This is the kind of weird realism to it all. The smoke in the air.
Tao-san,
Yes?
are there any other Chinese people around here?
Why do you want to know about other Chinese?
Nothing, really.
Is it something to do with what happened to your father?
Yes.
Oh no. Not all Chinese people are bad.
I understand that, but the only clue I have is that they were Chinese. Please, is there anything you could tell me?
You say Chinese people around here? But there's quite a lot of them compared to before. We don't really know the newcomers.
I see.
Why don't you tell him about the 3 blades?
Oh, the 3 blades.
3 blades? What are the 3 blades?
It literally refers to 3 different blades that represent 3 different trades.
The barber, the tailor, and the cook. They all use bladed tools. The barber uses a razor. The tailor uses scissors. And the cook uses knives.
Ah, I get it.
Most of the Chinese who came to Japan were one of the 3. It doesn't cost much to set up, so you can start the business quickly. People of the 3 blades also know each other very well. It's a good idea to ask them if you're looking for information on people from China.
Who are some of the 3 blade people around here?
For the barber, visit Maeda-san. For the tailor, see Itoi-san, who's making patches now. For the cook, go and ask Mampukuken Ramen. The 3 blade people should know about other Chinese people as well.
Oh, there's also another barber shop, the Liu Barber and Hair Salon. But Liu-san's father is in the hospital now. His family's having a hard time. The shop's been closed recently.
So, I should go and speak with Maeda-san, Itoi-san, and Mampukuken Ramen, right?
Yes.
I see. Thank you very much.
Just look in there. Look back there. Look at that kitchen. Look at the sink. Read Sega magazine. Hi, guy having lunch. I'm just gonna look at you. If anyone has any more questions or anything about Shenmue, feel free to ask in the chat. Is that dude still doing his golf swing? He stopped for a bit. You may notice people fading in and out of existence in order to keep performance up. That seems to be the way they did it. And it happens especially strongly with bikes. Happens in the second one as well, to a more aggressive degree because the areas are huge. But it's a crazy kind of thing. I haven't played through Shenmue in maybe 10 years at this point. I've played bits here and there. The loading times were actually okay. I remember I felt okay with the loading times because well, I suppose I was sort of forgiving of it, and I was like, wow, there's a lot it's got to load in, and I kind of just accepted it. Let's have a Jet Cola. I'm in the mood. This also doesn't do anything. But, this is also something I learned recently was that you're not supposed to walk and eat or drink in Japan. It's seen as rude. I only found this out like 3-4 days ago, and explains why he always just chugs the cola or the coffee right at the thing.
Good.
And then it's like, yeah, that was fantastic. Slam. I am out. So, learn something new every day. Here's where we hit upon one of the Mampuka-ken Ramen. We want to go speak to them, but it's closed. And it's not open till 5 o'clock.
It's closed.
So we actually have to kill time if we want to go into Mampuka-ken Ramen. And it's not like Metal Gear Solid 5 or Deadly Premonition even, where it's a scheduled game where you can wait around, you can do smoke to pass time. If you're in Shenmue, you've just got to wait. That is your whole choice, is wait, or that's it, just enjoy waiting. Oh my god, it's that weird kid.
Tatsuya,
Dude, I'm on my way to try the capsule toy machine.
don't waste it.
He even walks funny. Go on, Tatsuya. Or just stand still. Tatsuya, what you doing? The capsule toy machine isn't there. Okay. Ah, how's he gone? Alright, Tatsuya's there for the day.
Hi. Hey, you. Want to check out something? I got some groovy color leather jackets.
No thanks. Maybe next time.
Groovy, thank you. There's a few locations I have as favorites in this game. Like interiors of stores and stuff that I enjoyed. And made me want to visit places in Japan when I do eventually go with Connie. And one of my favorites, if it's open actually, it's down here. The Soba Noodle Bar. I can't move with much smoothness because the second it starts moving, it's turning the whole of Rio. You can actually hear his feet going. Because it's literally just doing this. So.
Hello.
Ah, it's Joe. Come on in.
Excuse me. It's nothing.
What is it? What happened?
I'll come again.
You can stand up straight if you want. It's okay. Just... yeah, he's definitely having a crafty one. Oop. Pressed the wrong button, and we went too fast. The quirks of the controls of Shenmue. So we are over here. Now there's one of the barbers, just right next to us. And the barbers are probably open, so... Oh! We found another cutscene. My cup.
Yamaguchi-san.
Oh, Ryo.
What are you doing here?
I was having a drink with your father.
With my father?
Well, you may not believe it, but I've been training in Kobujutsu for many years. I used to spar with your father. After our workouts, we always drank sake together. By the way, have you ever learned this move?
Huh?
Watch.
Yamagashi-san, what move is that?
It's an ancient technique that I once taught to Iwao.
To my father.
Martial arts masters often exchange techniques, just as your father and I did. We were very good friends. It must be fate that you came here. I want to teach you this move. How about it?
Of course.
Please teach me.
Please teach me. Teach me now.
There's no time like the present. I'll teach you right here, right now.
That's getting a bit.
Kobujutsu called double blow. I'll show you the footwork.
The performances on these voices are so strange. Sounds like he's gonna beat him up.
Take one step forward and build up your energy, then strike with your arms and legs at the same time. This is the double blow. Now you try. First, quickly shift your weight forward. Good. That's the way.
Doesn't tell you what the inputs are. It tries to assume that you'll know.
Forward, you extend your arms and legs as you strike with your palms. Now, try it again.
I'm gonna guess forward and punch. Nope. Forward, punch and kick together. As he said, arms and legs.
Well, excellent. You have managed to learn it rather quickly, I see.
Also a very handy move.
Thank you.
Tends to knock people
was
down.
Developed during the 16th century. It's a very powerful technique, and if done properly, the blow can be felt even through armor. Do you want to practice some more to make sure you've mastered it?
Nah, I got it, mate.
No, I think I've got it.
I'm a cocky little shit.
I see. Really? Alright. Perhaps you'll be fine. Keep at it, and good luck.
Every other time I played through this game, I agreed to practice it more. Partly out of a desire not to insult the old man.
Me too.
I look forward to that day.
I look forward to that day, but we got cancelled before then, so whatever. Oh well. Alright, we were going to go to the barber's, because we've only got a little bit of time left, so let's go see if we can find something out. So just have a look at the barbershop.
Excuse me.
Hi.
I'm searching for members of the Three Blades.
The Three Blades? Ryo, how come you know about them?
Tao-san from Aji-Ichi told me. He said I should ask you about them.
Is that so?
I'm just showing the floor this mop.
Will you help me, Maeda-san?
Sure, of course. Go down past the hamburger place.
You mean Funny Bear Burgers? Just past the vegetable stand.
Yeah. There's a barber shop down there called Liu Barber and Hair Salon. A Chinese couple runs it. They're a Three Blades barber shop.
Tao-san told me it's closed.
Yeah. I hear their grandfather was hospitalized, but he's set to be discharged within the next couple of days. Perhaps today even.
Thanks for
that. Is
that.
that so? Well, I'll try there.
Like many things in this game, this is the only time you have need to come in here.
Miki.
Hello.
Do you know which way Diu Barber and Hair Salon is?
You?
It's down past the Water Dragon, the one that sells jeans.
I see. Thanks a lot.
This entire location exists, complete with various bespoke modelled objects, a full second area to create the mirror, and the only time I will ever have to enter this room is to say that. To say, where's that? And you don't even have to do that if you go there first. What are you two up to?
Hey, Enoke.
Oh, Hazuki.
It's Plantito. You're just squatting, having a good squat. You know how it is. For a long day, you just want to have a squat in an alleyway. Yep, somebody phased into existence. Hello. I used to spend a lot of time walking down the city just doing this with the direction so I can look at it, create cinematic angles to everything. Which I've also been doing in Yakuza, though that has less control over the camera. So everything that this game is was an inspiration into Yakuza series. But there's something, having played Yakuza 0 recently and I'm very near the end, the difference that I'm noticing is that there is a sense of random natural discovery in this that doesn't exist in Yakuza. Yakuza is a bit more modern, it's a bit more guided, which isn't a bad thing at all. It's actually quite useful, but it's something a little magic about this, and certain games when they were experimenting with how to build this sort of three-dimensional world and location, where allowing the player to discover something rather than have it told to them directly, that's really unique to video games and interesting.
Welcome to Lapis. I've been expecting you.
This is the fortune-telling shop, which I had forgotten was in the game until he was stood right next to it.
You seem troubled.
Yes.
Shall I read your fortune, then? It's 300 yen per reading.
Let's just show it off since we're here.
Yes, please.
Well,
yes.
What type of reading would you like?
See, future, clue, and gamble. They can help you with what's going on in the game.
Please tell me the gamble.
Very well. Aha, I can see it now. The number which will lead you to victory is 5. Yes.
I see.
Shall I do another reading for you?
Yeah, it's just to show it. Show the system
yes,
off.
Please.
Well,
I'll show you what that number
type of
refers to in
reading
a
would
minute.
you like?
Let's see about clue. What happens there?
Please tell me a clue.
The crystal ball will tell me nothing.
I see.
Shall I do another reading for you?
Future, then.
Yes, please.
Well, what type of reading would you like?
Please show me the future.
Very well. Aha, I can see it now. Someone who has lived many years in this town may come to your aid.
It's the little guy in there that's telling me who to go talk to. Granted, you will never need to come in here and ask that.
Shall I do another reading for you?
No,
but
thank you.
if you got stuck, you have a very interesting in-world
I will. Goodbye.
system of hints that actually costs money. You can't earn money any other way than the allowance that you get every day for the vast majority of the game. Later on, you can earn some more money through the forklift trucks that are so famous. I'm just going to go down here. Now, the number that she was referring to actually does refer to something in world. Down here, another precursor to everything in Yakuza, is the slot machine parlor. And there are different numbers on the slot machines. Whichever number she says will bring victory is the number of the machine that you want to use, because it's now got higher odds of paying out. We'll go in there in a sec. I just want to go into another of my favourite locations. Again, a precursor to things that exist in Yakuza. I love the music, and the camera angle on the stairs, and then the haze in the air. So it's a mahjong parlor.
Excuse me?
Oh, no. I'm tired. I'm not in the mood for talking just now.
It's the smoky atmosphere and it's a strange little place. It took a while for other games to catch up to the idea of how to build a location and make it feel like it existed. A lot of linear games have achieved it quite well. And this is a linear game overall, but you push it forwards at your own pace. And we're not going to go straight into the slot machine location, because there's a little thing that happens every day in-game, and I want to stick around for it to happen. So we're just going to walk down here. Let's just stand up here for a minute. Take it all in. My hometown is not nearly this interesting. And the city I come from is interesting, but my actual town, Eastwood, very boring. I think I was jealous when I played this game of having somewhere I could walk and have something interesting exist. I also think it's a bit of a grass is greener kind of scenario, but... Alright, we're about to hit 7 o'clock. Every in-game day, 7 o'clock. Let's just listen to the lovely Tomatoes theme whilst we do it. Just take it all in. The streetlights turn on and we get a nice little cutscene of the transition between the day and the evening. It may not mean anything to you. You might just think I'm a completely absurd individual for caring about that. And that's fine. That's a very valid point. But it's that kind of attention to detail and strangeness that just defines this little game.
I'd like to ask you something.
What is it? Don't you know how to play the slot machines?
No, it's not that. I'm trying to find a place called Liu Barber and Hair Salon.
Liu Barber and Hair Salon? I don't know.
I see.
I don't have hair. Where's our machine? I think I have to get, like, tokens or something. I very rarely came in here.
20 tokens for 100 yen. I'll give it a try. How many will I use?
We'll just do a one-line bet. That's not victory. I'm beginning to think this fortune teller was a rip-off. Excuse me. Whoa, we got 21. We made like 50 yen.
I'd better quit now.
That was not worth it.
Excuse me, sir. Yes? I can hold your leftover coins for you. Would you please? Thank you very much.
Could you give me them in money? That would be nice. I just lost, well, basically nothing. But, you know, money. As we're reaching the end of our time, this has been Shenmue. I'm a little sick, so I wasn't able to put into context quite what I wanted to this time. Because my brain's a little fried tonight, and I apologise for that. Because this game means an awful lot to me, and has ever since it came out. And it's strange to talk about a game in that fashion, where it's an adventure game, it's a martial arts adventure game, it's very unique for the time, and it's influenced a lot of things, and it has its hardcore following. But I fully understand that it's got a lot of problems. The controls are not phenomenal. The dialogue is clunky, and the English voice acting is quite atrocious most of the time. And that's just the way it is. Thankfully, you get the Japanese language track in the remasters, which is nice. But it's rough. It's rough around the edges. But it shows a level of ambition to what a game can be that was not overly common at the time.
You hungry? Here.
And its focus on being slow and considered and not just rushing you through every moment. Whilst it makes it laughable in that he's trying to find revenge for his father, and you're like, yeah, it's trying to get revenge for my dad, but I think I'll just go around knocking on people's doors and buying capsule toys. It's silly in its own odd ways, but it opened the world of games up to me, especially at a time when I was trying to figure out what to do with myself, and I became interested in film, and whilst that may not be my career at the moment, it's still always something I love, and this game helped solidify what I loved, because I saw the connection between film and games in a way that when people talked about cinematic, they didn't really mean this. What they meant was just aping cinema, as opposed to trying to use elements of cinema adapted for a video game. This is undoubtedly a video game through and through, but it tries to understand cinematic ideas, and it doesn't always reach it, and gotta be honest about it, it's an unusual game, but it tried very hard, and it meant something to a lot of people. And And if I'm not sick and never stream anything else again, maybe I'll be able to give better context to what the hell I'm talking about. But for now, let's just look in a closet that we can look in for some reason. Because that's Shenmue. And we'll send Ryo off to bed. In the original, you could only save when you sleep. In this remaster, you can save at any point. So, you can actually save scum some of what you couldn't in the original, which is quite fun. And thanks for watching. This has been Shenmue Memories. And I implore everybody who found that at least interesting to maybe pick the game up, try it out, and see if it works for you, especially as the third one is on the way. And the second one is a bigger, grander experience. That was the wrong button entirely.